any socioeconomic status, any place that you are in the world, right? Any kind of measurement that you take. I think all of us have an innate ability to be happy. And when I get the honor of sharing and speaking with a group of people like you, when I, listening to the different awards and all the work that you're doing in the world, I think if there's a group of people that I would talk to that I think really deserve to kind of dig in deep and learn about how to be happy, I think it's you. Because you touch so many people and you do it from a place of genuine caring. And it's extraordinary. It's extraordinary and incredibly necessary at this time in the world for people to live with their heart open, to care, and to put that caring into action in the ways that you do. So I have a couple of ideas that I want to talk to you about. And one of them is the idea that as caregivers, because all of you are caregivers, you have to learn how to drink as you pour. You have to, right? You can't burn out or we're screwed, right? Right? And so you have to figure out practices to do for yourself where you feel like you're connected and you feel that kind of juicy essence of happiness so that you can go out and put that into your work. And so when I do go different places and teach about how to feel more connected in the world and how to use who you are to touch other people. Not just the work that you do, but who you are to touch other people. Because there's no question, you're out there working with in the trenches, really. You're out there working in the trenches. And it matters who's in front of you. And you know that. And so I want you to start to think about happiness as something that is not so much event-oriented or situation-oriented or person-oriented. I want you to start to think about happiness as a state of being, as a feeling of well-being that you have within yourself that you can then take out and share in your work and in your relationships and in the world. And so, inevitably when I teach about happiness or joy, I talk about something that I've started to call the mistakes of the intellect. And part of that is, we're smart and creative and brilliant beings. We are. We're amazing. And like Pharrell Williams said, we can turn this around. We've gotten on a not so good track in a lot of ways, but we do have the power to turn that around. But there are certain mistakes in our own mind that I think through different practices like meditation and yoga practices, you can start to address in a different way. And you can do it anyway, right? But the ways that I know have to do with yoga meditation, so I'm happy to share that with you. But the mistakes of the intellect are the places where we think we can't, or we think we're not good enough to do something. We doubt ourselves, and we doubt that creative spirit that can take us into the space of real transformation and change. And so, I think that the greatest mistake of our intellect is our unworthiness, where we don't feel like we're good enough or smart enough or thin enough or whatever enough, right? We get in that not enoughness mind, and we start to think that because we're not enough, we can't be the agents of change. And so I want you to start to think of happiness. So often we think of it as coming from the outside in, because we experience something outside of ourselves, then we feel happy and it comes in. And I want you to flip that. I want you to start to think about happiness as coming from the inside out. Okay? And so of course I have a practice that I'll share with you that we can do together to see if you can start to touch into that space within yourself. So let me ask you, how many people in here meditate? I mean, I do, right? Look at me. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about the practices of meditation. And really it's because meditation is designed to help you get in touch with yourself, to kind of touch into that deeper essence within you. We all have it. It's part of our humanity, is we all have this kind of feeling of presence within ourselves. And so that's part of the purpose of meditation, is to come in and kind of get quiet enough where you can check in and touch into that space and see if you're okay, right? Because the storm of life is going to keep happening. And we have to figure out how to stay at the eye of the storm so that we can all, again, be, trying to help. Or all of you are really interested in trying to help. So the first thing I want you to do with me is get connected to your breath. Okay, so it's the simplest way to learn how to meditate, just in any given moment. Anywhere you are in the world doing your work, if you can stay aware of your breath, you can kind of let go of the future and the past and come into the moment and really be effective. So take a deep breath in. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do a sighing breath. So I want you to exhale through your mouth with kind of an H sound, like okay, don't feel foolish, just do it with me. Okay, take a deep breath in. Okay, it's a sighing breath. Just go for it, exhale. Just do it one more time, big breath. And see if you can let go of any stress or tension as you exhale. Okay, now close your eyes for a moment. I'm going to lead you through a little 3-minute meditation. Okay? And see if you can still feel your breath. Just be a mindful observer of your breath. Just try to feel your breath coming in, feel your breath going out. And try not to do anything else, but just watch the flow of your breath. It's just very simple. And as you watch your breath, just notice how you feel. And try not to judge how you feel or change how you feel, but just notice it. Notice how you feel. It's all good. Just observing any sensations, any thoughts. Just settling into a moment of stillness and connecting to that deeper source within you. Now, wherever there is love, there is happiness. Right? Wherever there is happiness, there is love. And so I believe we all have to learn how to live with our hearts open, no matter what the situation. And so I want you to do a meditation practice with me that is focused first on someone outside of you. So I want you to take a moment and think of someone that you love without holding anything back. Right? That you let yourself love, no holds barred. It could be a baby, right? A child, a grandparent, a partner. Right? But just take a moment and think of somebody that you really let yourself love and love and love. And just imagine that person in front of you. And go out on a limb for a moment with me. And let yourself love like you've never loved before. Just let yourself pour love onto that person. It could even be a pet. Right? Just someone where it feels like unconditional love, where there's not a lot of stuff tangled up, but you just really love. You got it? Okay, now I want you to see, right, if you can notice how you feel when you let yourself love like that. I see if you feel that quality of love, open-hearted awareness moving through you. And now I want you to see if you can, thank the person that showed up to teach you about love. like that. And just let them go on their way, and see if you can just hold on to the feeling of love. And take a deep breath in. Let the breath go out. And just breathe in and out for a moment, that feeling of the open heart. Just listening to that song in your heart. Right, that essence that rings out in the quiet moments of your life. And just try to feel that love. Just create it and ride it on the breath. And take one more deep breath in. Let the breath go out. And open your eyes. And one of the other things that I think where we get a mistake of the intellect is that we think in order to feel that kind of abundance of love in our own heart, that you have to love me for me to feel loved. Right? We tend to think that in our relationships, that for me to feel love, you have to love me. But I actually think that it's the reverse, that if I need to feel love, if I want to feel more love, I have to love you. Right? That I have to figure out how to give more love and love more in order to feel it more. I don't have to get it from outside in, I have to give it from the inside out. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about using that practice and just allowing yourself to feel more love, right? Because every time you feel that, you know, something eases up. Something eases up in you. Okay? So I think if you want to feel more happiness and more of that sense of love, you can never close your heart. Right? Even if somebody else, if you feel like somebody else is closing their heart to you, right? It doesn't mean you have to do it the way they're doing it. Right? Because then you have two people in a relationship with closed hearts. Right? Somebody's got to be brave enough to love anyway. Right? To bring that quality of, you know, it's our greatest strength. Our greatest human strength is our ability to care and to love and to connect from that space. And so that's what you do. That's what your work is already. Your work is amazing. Right, but you too deserve to feel happy. And so I'll leave you with one of my teacher's quotes. And she said, you know, really you have to figure out how to be happy on the way to happiness. Okay? Thank you.